Hi, this is Doug Upstone for Sports Watch Monitor, and today we are at the in Phoenix to see the Oakland A's and the Los Angeles Dodgers playing. And with me is Tony DeMarco. You've seen him on some of the videos in the past, and it does a great job. Longtime baseball writer, and so we got him to give his opinion on both the Oakland A's and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Tony, welcome.
Good to be back.
And so we got the Dodgers. They got a short preseason here.
Very short.
For spring training because them and Arizona are off to Australia this year. So what are your thoughts about the Dodgers? Their win total is the highest in baseball. They're the best bet, to win the World Series across the board. What are your thoughts about their prospects for this year?
Well, it's obviously a very, very talented roster, but it's not one that doesn't have some question marks. I would start, as far as the question mark, second base is an obvious one. The kid they signed from Cuba, Guerrero, didn't play at all last year, and there's real questions about whether he'll be ready to start the season at the big league level. Probably not. So then you're stuck with Sean Figgins, who didn't play at all last season for a different reason. No one else wanted him. He's trying to make a comeback, and he's looking okay this spring. And D. Gordon is playing some second base, and he hit a nice triple today. And if he can at least even hit 250 to 260, that would put him on base enough to steal 40-some bases. That would make a big difference at the bottom of the order.
Sure. Now, what do you think of the Dodgers pitching in general?
Excellent.
Okay.
It really is. You start with Kershaw's the best pitcher in baseball, hands down. Zach Greinke could be an ace on a lot of teams. He's probably a top 20 pitcher in the game. Ryu, the Korean kid who had a very excellent rookie year last year, I like him a lot. That gives him three real frontline pitchers. That's as good as anybody else's three.
Sure. Okay.
Then you do have some questions. Dan Herron, a little bit unhealthy last year, but he looks fine. And then you've got Billingsley and Beckett coming off various injuries. Out of those three, I'm going to assume you're going to get two who are going to throw well enough to be fourth and fifth starters.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Okay.
I mean, they've all been higher in a
Right.
rotation. Now they're at the back end. If that's the back end of your rotation, that's pretty good. And I love the bullpen because Jansen's one of the top half dozen closers. Brian Wilson threw great down the stretch last year and into the playoffs. So, in effect, they have two closers.
Yeah.
I mean, Jensen's going to be the guy, but Wilson is like your eighth inning closer. And Withrow is another kid I really like, a hard-throwing right-handed kid. So, I think it's a pretty deep bullpen. And if not, they can always spend more money when they need it. And this lineup should score some runs.
Enough runs. All right. So
given the health now, Kemp is a question right now.
So just thoughts. Don't have to be definitive if you don't want to be, but 93 wins for the Dodgers. You think over under? Or is that about right?
That's pretty close.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
I would say 94, 95.
Okay.
Again, we don't know Kemp. Kemp's a big one to me. If he's healthy and that lineup's a lot deeper.
Sure. Okay.
Then I think they could go over. If he's not going to be healthy, then you're talking about playing Carl Crawford all the time, playing Ethier every day. And neither one of those two hits left-handers very well. And it's kind of a trickle down of the whole lineup would look a little bit weaker, and the bench would be weaker too.
Okay. All right. Now, what about Oakland? Obviously, division champs the last 2 years. Won 94 and 96 games.
I think they're going to do it again. I really do. I always start with rotation depth, and I'm not just talking about the first five. I'm trying to go 7 or 8 deep.
Okay.
And let's look at we'll go from the bottom. We won't even count Houston in a race situation. But Seattle, all right. Iwakuma already hurt. He was tremendous last year. If you had him on your fantasy team, you probably got him really late because no one knew much about him. He had a tremendous season, so you benefited from him last year. This year, not so much. He's got a finger problem. He's shut down for 3 more weeks.
Okay.
He's not going to be ready probably until the end of April. Taijuan Walker, top prospect, stud-looking kid, 95 plus. He's got it all. Shut him down, shoulder problem. He's the number 3 starter. So they're already down 2 starters, and they're not that deep. Texas, Derek Holland, injury in the offseason. He's done to midseason. Matt Harrison's coming off surgery. He's been pushed back this spring. Colby Lewis coming off surgery. Not sure when he's going to be ready. And then the Angels, they don't have any injuries, but the back 3 in their rotation are kind of iffy as well.
Yeah.
So that leaves the A's. You got Jared Parker, you've got A.J. Griffin, you got Sonny Gray, and you got Straley. Those 4 young, all 25, 26 and under, definitely have upside. Probably should get a little bit better. So I think they have the deepest. They don't have they don't have a front line Kershaw type or anybody like that, or a Verlander, but I think the entirety of the rotation is better than anybody else's.
Okay, so with them, and obviously their lineup, as we know, doesn't overwhelm you, but they score runs. They create mismatches with Bob Melvin matching up against other teams, so that's really a huge plus for what they do.
They do. They've got their way of doing it. It's a little different than other teams. The on-base percentage, power, works. It would work even better if they weren't in that park. That park's a tough park to hit in. It really is. They actually hit better on the road, so that helps them too when they go away. They have a better, they have a decent record on the road because they can score runs on the road. I will say this though, Donaldson, he had a great breakout year. He was another guy. If you got him, you probably got him a little bit lower round in your fantasy draft last year. He broke out and had a big season. I would assume he's going to come back a little bit from his number. I'm not going to say he's not going to be a bad player. He might not hit 30 homers.
Right, hit 30 homers. Okay, so they're the favorite at 88.5 wins. You think that's good?
I think they can go over that. I really do. They've gone over it the last 2 years by a decent margin. I'd say low 90s.
Okay.
That's pretty good to me.
All right. Well, there you have it. So we got the Dodgers right around 93 wins and the Oakland A's to go over. So this is Doug Upstone and Tony DeMarco for Sports Watch Monitor.